Today we will discuss the depiction of satire on the Victorian age in The Importance of Being Earnest. So in this play, Importance of Being Earnest, Oscar Wilde he has satirized the Victorian age. So by making a mockery of the Victorian idols, he threw a spotlight on the Victorian age as a whole. So Victorian people they had indulged themselves in passionate love with the idea of earnestness. So the idea of living in an earnest manner was the topmost ideals of that times. So earnest it is held as a sublime virtue in that society. So the society at that time it was so fake and these fake idols of earnestness that it was ready to pay any price for it. So, this frenzied and frantic thrust towards the idols pressurized individuals to live a double life. So, we have the characters leading the double life. Both Jack and Algernon, they are leading the double life. So, people they become double dealers in an attempt to live life honestly. So, the late 19th century British people they gradually became hypocritical in their fashionable and faddish struggle to uh, look like honest people. So, this led to selfishness, unnecessary pride, false sense of self worth, and haughtiness and pride. So, these developed as evils which corrupted and corroded the simple charm of life. So, the Victorian society it was artificial and it was very, very hollow from within. So the upper middle class, haughty and arrogant nature is satirized by Oscar Wilde in this play. So we have Lady Bracknell who is very arrogant and she dismisses Jack's proposal to Gwendolen. So her manners they make an appearance when she interrogates Jack whether he is really qualified to marry her daughter or not. So, to the utter shame of the readers, she had kept all the biodata and testimonials of those who dared to propose to Gwendolen but proved unqualified suitors for her daughter. So, it is really unbecoming of such a lady to take such a complete control over his daughter's right to get married. So, this haughty trend available in that time is critically exposed by Wilde in this play. So here we have two characters on the pedestal who appear as earnest. So we have Jack Worthing and Algernon. So these are the two characters who are obsessed with this name, Ernest. So Jack lives in the country and he knows it clearly that Victorian lady in urban society they quickly fall in love with a man who is named Ernest. But he has a name, the real name is Jack, a country name which he uses in the countryside. So, to arrest the love of an urban lady, Gwendolen, he uses another fictitious name that is Ernest and he comes to London. So, this kind of hypocritical life of Jack is an example of double standards, double life. So, why does Jack he takes the name Ernest? So, the answer is an urban lady loves only a person whose name is Ernest. So, because Victorian society it permitted youths to lead a double life, Jack chooses that name. So, the faddish cult of living an earnest life was on the rise. So, Jack engaged in the cult of Bunbury. So, with the name Ernest, Jack went to town to meet his friend Algernon. Then he meets Gwendolen over there. Gwendolen knew his name was Ernest, so she fell in love with him. Right? So, Jack and Gwendolen, they alone are not accountable for the shallowness and artificiality that degrade the society. So, it is the Victorian society which made the youth to run after these useless or vain things. So her mad thirst for love based on the charming name makes Gwendolen love very baseless or substanceless. So Jack's hypocritical style of living in town by the fictitious name Ernest makes him a double dealer. So in the similar tone, we have the other character, that is Algernon. He also assumes the false name Ernest, and he goes to the village so that he can win over Cicely. So Algernon, he knows that Cicely loves Jack's fictitious brother who is named as Ernest. So Algernon went to meet her under the impression that he is Jack's brother. So both man and women, they become the victims of hypocrisy and the vice of double dealing. So these evils, they persisted in the Victorian society and particularly in the upper middle classes. So both Jack and Algernon, they present the upper middle class. So they are the depiction of the vices and follies of the upper middle class people. So while he has attacked the Victorian age for its attachment to loveless life, so the love defined by the Victorian society was actually devoid of love. So in the play, Wilde shows Jack and Algernon, they are indulged in loveless love with Gwendolen and Cicely respectively. So even Gwendolen and Cicely, they also account for this loveless love. So we are ashamed to hear such a declaration of love. So love for the name of beloved and not for the spirit of the person. So this love is devoid of any emotional depth. So this is how Wilde he satirizes the love in the play. So we find that Gwendolen, she followed the dictates of the fashion. So in this direction of obeying the tyranny of the fashion, she lost even a remnant of courage to assert her will. So this plight of Gwendolen can be seen in her submissive reactions to every word of her mother. So the Victorian morality is also slightly hinted at in a satirical manner. So we have the presentation of Dr. Chasuble, and his relaxed concentration on sermon reveals his preoccupation with a moral consciousness. So the moral consciousness of the Victorian people can be known a bit from the religious commitment of Dr. Chasuble. So he is a priest who gives sermons repeatedly with a view to satisfy the moods of the attendant. And unstable moral consciousness is reflected from his affection for Mrs. Prism. So from Chasuble's moral predicament, readers they can guess the satirical standpoint of the dramatist regarding the lack of faith and the lack of morality in the Victorian society. So life in Victorian society, it was full of hustle and bustle. It was a busy life. People were anxious, and much more business kept people confined in their own privacy. So Miss Prism, she is also a victim of Victorian absent mindedness. So thank you, students.